Hello, today I'm going to share with you what I've been doing in my skincare routine both morning and evening to help with pigmentation. I've changed 4 things, and if they can help me reduce pigmentation that I picked up over the summer, I thought, well, they might help you. So that's what we're going to talk about today, reducing pigmentation. I'm always rotating ingredients because I want to bring you the best of the best that really work and work together. I know you're curious about all the new formulas that are out there, and that's my job here on YouTube, is to help bring you new skincare and help you decide if it may or may not work for you and give you my before and afters and my results so we can all make wiser choices about our skincare purchases. Now, you always need to wear your sunscreen. I don't need to say that, you guys know that. But you know I've had a constant battle with hyperpigmentation after not doing any skincare basically my entire life. Just minimal, not really great at sunscreen, and not really taking very good care of my skin for years and ending up with hyperpigmentation like this, which skincare did help, but I did end up with some in-office treatments. But it's a constant battle. I'm always picking up new sunspots. I'm always exacerbating the sunspots that were always there. I just have this typical pattern that I pick up obviously on the driver's side window and across my brow. But I changed 4 things over the last 2 months to combat hyperpigmentation, and I want to share those with you. And just a reminder that hyperpigmentation takes a village. Everybody's skin is different. You will react differently to your neighbor, and your neighbor's hyperpigmentation will react differently to yours. Some of us might have conditions that are actual medical conditions like melasma that really need the attention of a qualified dermatologist to help you with that, because that is a skin condition that is considered a medical diagnosis. So I'm just talking about dark spots and sunspots, those spots that we pick up due to external environmental factors. So the first thing that I did was change my ZIIP routine, because right at the end of summer, ZIIP came out with a program that addresses pigmentation. It was the post-summer skin program. It's going to help you get rid of the pigment that you build up in the summer. Actually, some people build up more pigment in the winter. So this could fit into your routine anytime, but I'm on that plan. I'm on day 7. My plan today, I just looked it up. I'm doing the contour, which is a 2-minute plan, and then the electric tone, which is a 4-minute plan, and then Founder's Favorite. Now, they've since deleted that from their app because they do seasonal programs that pop up, like wedding programs, and then this time they did post-summer skin. But I will leave that program down below, and if you're on your app, all you have to do is follow that. So that was the one thing that I changed, how I used my ZIIP, and it's a 12-day, it's either 12 days or 14-day program, and I just repeated that. The other thing that I introduced is a new product. I did receive this in PR. It's called Mother Science, and it has the ingredient malastasin, which is a yeast. Malastasin works a little bit differently than a tyrosinase inhibitor, and tyrosinase is an enzyme in the melanin production chain that triggers the production of melanin. So inhibiting tyrosinase, typically like with kojic acid, tranexamic acid, can help reduce the production of melanin. But malastasin works at the cellular level to improve cellular balance and cellular health. And they have shown in studies that it helps reduce pigment. So I thought I'd give it a try, and I incorporated this into my skincare routine 2 months ago as a treatment step, both morning and evening. The other product that I introduced was Remedy. I was so excited to see this product. It is a dark spot correcting formula that you use in the evening. And I use this in my evening skincare routine instead of any of my over-the-counter tretinoin or any retinaldehydes. I scaled back because, as you know, if you've been watching my channel, my skin has been very, very reactive to prescription retinoids. So I'm scaling all the way back to retinols, which are 2 conversions away from retinoic acid, which is the prescription formula. So back to retinol so that I can sort of build my tolerance for vitamin A's. And so excited to use this formula because at the top of their ingredient list is retinol. And how does the retinol help with pigmentation? It helps with cell turnover. So it brings our cells that are kind of sleepy and not turning over and our wiser years to the surface so they can slough off. The second ingredient that helps with pigmentation is mandelic acid. Now, mandelic acid is a very gentle exfoliator. If you haven't seen my video on exfoliation, I'm going to pop it up here. Check out that video after you watch this video. Exfoliation for mature skin and keeping our skin bright is really important, but we have to be pretty gentle when we first start exfoliation products, especially if we're not used to using them. And mandelic acid is a great entry-level exfoliator. Exfoliates the skin, lifts off those keratinocytes that the retinol is bringing to the surface, and whisks them away, just to give you brighter skin. Next, we have kojic acid, which is an anti-inflammatory. It's an antioxidant, and it is a tyrosinase inhibitor, so it inhibits that enzyme that triggers the melanocyte production. We also have glutathione, which works in a couple different ways. It's an antioxidant, so it helps reduce free radicals, just helps improve the overall function of the cell. It also is a tyrosinase inhibitor, but it also helps shift melanin production from eumelanin, the darker melanin production, to pheomelanin, the lighter melanin production. So it works a little bit differently. All the ingredients that I'm talking about today do work a little bit differently, chemically and metabolically. So it's really great to have a formula that has multiple types of ingredients that are approaching anti-pigmentation in different ways, in different cellular pathways. So that's what's really important about anti-pigmentation. You're not going to have just one ingredient that solves everything. It's probably going to be a combination or a cocktail of ingredients that may be specific to you. You might try alpha-arbutin and it doesn't do anything. Your neighbor might try it and it completely helps reduce their pigmentation. Just a reminder that one size doesn't fit all, and that it's probably going to take multiple approaches to reducing pigment, like I'm using the ZIIP program, using microcurrent and nanocurrent to help reduce pigment, and different variations of ingredients to help reduce pigment, ingredients that help lift the pigment that's already there, and ingredients that help reduce the pigment production. Next on this amazing ingredient deck for pigmentation is licorice root, which I've talked about before. There was a serum that I absolutely loved. I can't remember it, but it's a licorice root only formula. But it's great that they have it blended into a formula, because then you don't have to buy like 10 different single ingredient formulas. You've got it all in one. Another reason why I'm loving the Remedy Dark Spot Corrector. So how can licorice root help with anti-pigmentation? 3 ways. Anti-inflammatory. It also has the enzyme, the flavonoid enzyme glabridin, which is a tyrosinase inhibitor. Once again, that's going to be a theme throughout a lot of these ingredients. And third, it has licoritin. Licoritin is a compound that helps disperse melanin. It also contains tranexamic acid. That is an ingredient that came on the scene, I would say about 2 years ago was the first time I started hearing about it. It's again a tyrosinase inhibitor. It also blocks melanin from interacting with keratinocytes. It's a slight UV blocker, as well as an anti-inflammatory. It also helps with barrier function. It attacks pigment in multiple ways and helps support the barrier of our skin, which also helps with pigment, because when our skin barrier is broken, we get lesions that lead to redness and hyperpigmentation. And of course, niacinamide. Niacinamide, I know, is in everything these days, and it can be sensitizing to some people. So if that is you, then this might not be the right anti-pigmentation formula for you. It is in everything, so be careful that you're not loading on tons of niacinamide, because it can be irritating to some people, but it does work in several ways to help with anti-pigmentation. It can reduce redness and flushing. It also improves skin barrier function, just helps with transepidermal water loss, makes the cellular function of our skin have more integrity, and when our skin barrier is protected, we produce less melanin because we have less irritation, which again leads to hyperpigmentation. It also helps decrease the packaging of melanin and the cellular function using NADP+. And I'm not going to go into that mechanism because, to be honest, it's over my head as far as the chemistry is concerned, but just know that it reduces the packaging of the melanin in our skin and the keratinocytes from larger to smaller. Silymarin is an ingredient I hadn't heard a ton about, but it also is similar to licorice root. It's a flavonoid antioxidant, helps reduce pigment by inhibiting tyrosinase. It also reduces the melanocyte activity. It kind of suppresses the melanocytes, which are our pigment producing cells. Last in this amazing ingredient deck is acetylglucosamine, which targets tyrosinase earlier on in the chain of melanin production. It also helps with skin barrier function and improves hydration to the skin. So this formula absolutely blew me away. I used it every night for 2 months, just a couple pea sizes amount, just a light layer, and it also has retinol, so it took the place in my evening skincare routine of my retinol treatment step. The last product that I introduced into my routine over the last 2 months is the OS1 skincare. Now, I'll be honest, the chemistry of this product, the new OS01 peptide that's in here, I need to do some more research. But the idea is they did a clinical study comparing it to retinoic acid and kojic acid for improving the look of pigmentation. I've been using this along with these other 2 powerhouse ingredients for anti-pigmentation, and I'm going to show you my before and afters at the end of the video. My brow especially made some amazing improvements, and the area along my left cheek where I always pick up pigmentation because it's more exposed to the sun and it's in that classic pattern that I always get. I wanted to give you a few other options if you're looking for products with anti-pigmentation ingredients. One of my favorites is Major Fade's Hyper Serum. I've been using this for 2 years. Absolutely love it, and it has ingredients that are different from the 3 that I tried. I'm always rotating ingredients because I want to bring you the best of the best that really work and work together. I've had great luck with this, but I wanted to try something new for you guys because I know you're curious about all the new formulas that are out there, and that's my job here on YouTube, is to help you decide if it may or may not work for you and give you my before and afters and my results so we can all make wiser choices about our skincare purchases. So the Dr. Idris Major Fade has alpha-arbutin. It also has kojic acid, which I've already talked about, diglucosylgallic acid, and niacinamide. So if you're using the remedy in the evening, I would use this in the morning because they both have niacinamide. Unless you're not sensitive to niacinamide, then you probably don't need to worry about it. But back to alpha-arbutin. Now, alpha-arbutin is another tyrosinase inhibitor, but it claims to be more gentle and not target the production of tyrosinase at the genetic level. So you may want to give that a try. Now, as far as diglucosylgallic acid, that decreases inflammation, which I already talked about is a precursor to hyperpigmentation. We also have niacinamide, which I already talked about, all the great barrier functions and the anti-inflammatory benefits of niacinamide. So this might be a serum that you would consider. If you're into skincare masks, I have 2 to share with you. One is by MAYSAMA. This contains tranexamic acid and alpha-arbutin and the antioxidant kombucha to help boost skin brightness. The Dr. Idris brand also has a mask. This is their flash mask. It has tranexamic acid, but it also has 2 exfoliants. Glycolic acid at a very potent 15%. So this is one you're going to patch test, you're going to wait overnight, and see how your skin reacts. It also has lactic acid. So glycolic acid is an AHA. It's a very small alpha hydroxy acid that helps with exfoliation, lifting those skin cells off, exfoliating them off. It also penetrates deep to help with collagen and elastin production. And then, of course, lactic acid is great for mature skin. It's a gently exfoliating alpha hydroxy with the molecule size being a little bit bigger, slightly less intense, and it's really great for mature skin because it helps with moisture. All right, those are the 2 masks that I wanted to share with you, and that kind of brings to a close all the things that I've been doing to help reduce pigmentation over the last 2 months. Now let's get to the results. All right, here is my skin before. You'll see across my forehead, I picked up some kind of freckling. That is pretty typical. Even though I wear hats and I wear sunscreen, I do get quite a few freckles on my forehead. So here's my before. And here's my after. And here are the sides of my face, both the left side and the right side. And then after, left side and right side. You can see in the before picture on the left and the right how I'm picking up a little bit of pigmentation, more on the left, that typical pattern that I get with sun exposure. And then the after pictures, you can see how that's diminished, not so much on the right because I didn't pick up that much this summer, but on the left you can see that it's definitely lighter. Full disclosure, I have had in-office treatments to help deal with pigmentation. I started with skincare at 50 and went for a few years. It definitely improved, but I just couldn't get that residual super deep pigmentation without a few additional in-office treatments. And I share all of that in this video of my 7-year skincare journey and the 10 treatments that I did. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you learned a few new things about controlling pigmentation, especially that post-summer pigmentation that we get inadvertently when we're exposed to the sun. Like I said, I've been through my journey and I'm constantly battling pigmentation. Even though I've gotten rid of a ton of it, in this before and after, you can really tell how much those in-office treatments helped. But after getting those amazing results, I'm even more diligent about my sunscreen and more diligent about using ingredients that help with anti-pigmentation. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks very much for watching and wishing you a skintastic day.